Yes. Now question and answer session start. Okay.
法様ありがとうございます。それではこれより質疑応答に移ります。
야, 저 줘봐요.
客席内通路2カ所にマイクを用意しております。ご質問されたい方はマイクの前にお並びください。なお、質問は簡潔にお願いします。So His Holiness accepts your questions. For those who are having questions, please make a line behind them. Some microphones in the hall. Please make a line and please ask questions very simply.なお、時間の都合によりお並びいただいても途中で質問セッションが終わる可能性がございます。あらかじめご了承ください。
One microphone here, one here.
When time is running short,
Then 이게 강아리야 microphone 주고 가야 되겠어. 이게
when time is running short, His Holiness may not be able to answer all your questions. Thank you for your understanding.
Yes.
May I go ahead? Yes. Okay. My name is Danzen Tutan, and I'm a disciple of Zhuo Rinpoche. It's very nice to be here, Your Holiness. My question is, for Christian, since Buddhism is a mind of science, can Christian study Buddhism?
Oh yes. Because I always say, explain or telling all major world religious tradition. You see, three aspects. Number one aspect is religion or dharma. Another aspect is philosophy. Third, cultural heritage. So now, as far as religion is concerned, all major world religious tradition same. All carry message of love, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline. Same. So already some of my Christian friends, they try to learn from some Buddhist method in order to develop compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, these things already. One late Christian Catholic monk, we quite often discuss about some of the Buddhist practice, about single-pointed meditation and training, way of training about compassion, forgiveness, these things. So certainly can learn. Then philosophical fields, philosophical or some another aspect, is Buddhism, like ancient Indian religious tradition, a lot of explanation about emotion, about mind. Usually I describe ancient Indian psychology is highly developed, very sophisticated. So, you see, that part is not only religious people, but non-believer. Also, you see, I feel should learn about human psychology in order to tackle with our destructive emotion. It is very useful to know the map of emotion, or whole system of emotion. Then certain sort of philosophical views, then there is big differences. Now, with that late, my Catholic friend, you see, one day he asked me about emptiness, shunyata. And I told him, this is not your business. This is something very unique for Buddhists. So don't ask that. I told him like that. Because, you see, I a little bit concerned the single-pointed faith, God, something absolute, or something permanent. You see, that concept very helpful to keep the single-pointed faith. So Buddhist concept, everything relative. Buddha also not independent or absolute. So that kind of sort of philosophical view might harm their single-pointed faith. So I told him, this is not your business. That's Buddhist business. So like that. So similarly, for most of the religious tradition, you see there are, I think, a main sort of point or main concept is creator, God. So that kind of sort of philosophical view to Buddhist and to Jains, to what's it, Karsa, Transima Karsa. Transima Nimji maybe. Or Karsa, then it Taiwan on there. Kari? Mari. Sangha philosophy. Two parts. One part of Sangha philosophy, accept God. Another part of Sangha philosophy, no concept of God. So then these, you see the big differences. So like that. Then third aspect. But then I always make clear, what is the purpose of these different philosophy? Then same, the concept creator, main purpose is to bring conviction or enthusiasm, practice love, compassion, forgiveness. Then the Buddhist concept, everything interrelated, interconnected. That philosophy also is the main purpose is to strengthening the practice of compassion. So it's the same goal, except different method. Then different method is necessary, as I mentioned, I think before. The same, follow our same teacher, Buddha. Because there are different mental disposition, different sort of mental ability, mental capacity. So Buddha compelled to teach different philosophical views. So this, sometimes I jokingly is telling, the Buddha taught some contradictory philosophy. One area, one sort of group of people, he taught some philosophical views. Another occasion, he taught sort of different philosophical views. This does not mean Buddha's own mind not very clear, uncertain. Nor the Buddha deliberately tried to create more confusion among his followers. No. Then the answer is, according to different mental disposition, it is necessary to show different philosophical views. Same purpose. So that we can learn the rest of the major world religion talking about God, Creator. Very powerful. So it's the same purpose, to bring inner peace, inner strength. Then third aspect, culture, heritage, culture. That I feel most of the ancient religion, including Buddhism, when these founder, carried teaching, the cultural aspect some way related with existing cultural heritage of the society. So the society at that time, feudal society. So some of the religious institution also uses some sort of connection with the feudal system. For example, Dalai Lama institution. You see some connection with the feudal system. So therefore, the 2011 voluntarily, happily, proudly seize the tradition. Dalai Lama Dalai Lama also they have the both responsibility about temporal and spirituality. Now that ended. Because these, since last 400 years, you see, this practice, you see, happen. This very much related with feudal system. So the society, way of life, cultural heritage change. So that aspect, I think, really, I think worthwhile to think seriously and some change. That's I feel. But religion aspect, no change, no need change, and we can learn each other. Philosophical views, differences, but that different philosophical view is relevant to say now at least 6 billion human beings supposed believer. 10 billion, no, billion, 1 billion non-believer. So among the 6 billion believer, we need different faith with different philosophical views. Like that. Okay. Next question.
Holiness.
Thank you, His Holiness. Please ask one question at one time, and please make your question as simple as possible. Thank you.
Right here.
Venerable, my name is Juyan from Taiwan, Ham Broadcasting Station, and thank you for last year when the sakura bloom. You were a voice. I took it to Taiwan, back to Taiwan. This year, will you allow me?
인지계주지 과시가대. 수도 인지계주. 그 인지계주. 됐어. 굽자시키시오. 굽자시키시오.
Would you allow me to take your voice again to my show? And the first question is, would you please give us some suggestion? Because Taiwan now have a new season, and the president will lead us to the new direction. We need your suggestion about your experience and wisdom.
벌써 해보시면서. 사와로. In order to give suggestions or advice, the person should have fuller knowledge about the situation. So I don't know.
Thank you, His Holiness.
So certainly I have, you see, many friends from Taiwan. But the real situation, including economy, you see, I'm not in a position, you see, to give, you see, advice or suggestions. Difficult. But overall, as I mentioned the last few days, you see, humanity, 7 billion human beings, the entire this planet, there are a lot of problems. Actually, we human beings created. That kind of problem certainly can reduce if human sort of way of thinking, way of life, some change. So up to now, I think we human beings only talks about external values. I think almost neglected about our inner value and the conviction about truth, honest. So, marvelous human intelligence used for negative way. That's why, firstly, in the economy field, huge gap, rich and poor. Not only morally wrong, but also unhealthy. We have to reduce this gap, rich and poor. And then, some political matter or some other sort of matter, we still carrying old thinking. Whenever some disagreement face, our response of how to solve this by force. That's old way of thinking. 20th century sort of thinking. Now we are 21st century. The old thinking, not only solving these problems, but increasing these problems. Now Middle East, we already witness more violence, counter-violence. Very difficult. So I often used to telling, this 21st century should be century of dialogue. Because, you see, among the humanity, some disagreement, some different interest, always there. So these are source of conflict. So when we face some differences, some different opinion, different interest, so we have to solve that through dialogue. Respect their right, their interest, and make some kind of compromise. That's the only way. So that I usually say telling in everywhere. I think in America, already few cities already have the name City of Compassion, City of Kindness. At least about 10 cities already. So now, coming June, I think the number of cities mayor, they annually is having some kind of conference. So they want me go there, so some talk. So these are hopeful signs. And then in India, also Europe, and America, you see more people now, and particularly including scientists, more and more people, and also education, among the educationists also, you see, now begin to feel existing education field something lacking. We must include education about our inner value, not based on religious faith, but based on scientific findings and common sense and common experience. So these are hopeful signs. I think Taiwanese people, basically, your major sort of religious tradition is Buddhism. So, not try to propagate Buddhism, but you should think from Buddha's teaching how much we can make a contribution for a better world, happier world, peaceful world. That I feel. Okay.
Thank you, His Holiness. The next question from the other side of the microphone, please.
田辺と申します。日本人です。煩悩についてお聞きしたいんですけれど、
出してくれ。Japanese, oh, ransu shoda. On tenela gore. On la shon penela dia. Yes.
煩悩、荒い煩悩から、徐々に修行が進んで、その微細な煩悩まで見ていけると聞いたんです。それ以外に深いところに沈んでて表面に出てこないような多分煩悩があるんじゃないかと思いまして、そういう煩悩は、その瞑想によって、断ち切ることは可能なのでしょうか。
入門楽はね入門たまれやにねチェックです。림바 요르스 고종스 이내入門띵 사보던 데기 토네 양 냠낸 지난 검 냠낸 지난데 요르스.
그래서 야고시면서 그래서 녀모 거를 냠는 지야.
녀모 락반에 갈래갈래치니야 녀모 타몰라야 도 냠낸 지난 근데 림바 요르스 숭도스 근데 낭
말만 들을 수가 말한다. 녀모로 차라 먹고요. 그래서 저상가 녀모 락바 그도데
So since there are many different levels of emotions,
Вопрос об эмоциях. У нас есть
Okay. You have this? Translation? No translation. On the chick lived. Do not rose love. Rose loved. Rose love. Rose love sugar. I think he very much reluctant to translate. Ka. Do it. No translation there. Okay. Okay. Yes. Now next question.
Next question, please. Next question this side. Someone would like to ask a question?
日本出身の相田優子と申します。午前の芸家のお話の中で在家信者の誤解がございましたが、そうですか。はい、在家信者の誤解のお話がございましたが、その中で飲酒の戒めについては前にもお話を伺ったんですけれども、少しであれば大丈夫だということでいつもお話をしてくださいます。で、私がわからないのはその5つの戒めの中で飲酒についてだけは少しであれば破っても構わないと。もしそうなのであれば、なぜ戒めの中に入っているのか、いつもそこが分からなくてもやもやするのでお教えください。お願いします。
So, Your Holiness, you mentioned that if it is even possible for the layperson to take vows. So sorry, I'm actually not hearing the questions very clear. And I've mentioned this morning that if you cannot completely stop your drinking, alcoholic drinking, then you can just take a little bit.
その守れないことで許されるのであれば、なぜその戒めの中にそもそも入っているのでしょうか。
So what is the reason that alcoholic drink has to be completely prohibited as a part of the vow? The reason is that as the nature of the alcohol is just consumption of the alcohol by itself is not a negative action, but the consequence coming after that, where we become drunk, so it may lead us to indulging in activities such as killing and so on. So therefore, whoever consider me as your teacher, so no, you cannot even drink a drop of the alcoholic. You cannot even take a drop of any alcoholic drinks. So many of the promulgations were given allowance and exemptions, but for taking alcoholic drinks, there were not even a moment of any exemptions. The reason is that once you take the alcoholic drinks, so it may lead you to other non-virtuous activities. So you should not drink till you are drunk. So just take a few sips as so you have to avoid the bad consequences out of taking alcohol.
Thank you, His Holiness. Next question, please.
ありがとうございました。ファワン。
Sorry, next question on
Yes.
this side, please.
Thank you for teaching. My name is Yamane Takayoshi, Japanese. My question is, the first day, His Holiness said there is some geshe who train several paths of tradition, Nimma, Kagyu, and Gelgu. But I wonder if one train several traditions at one time, it may cause confusion. So my question is it good to learn or practice several traditions of Buddhism, or it is better to do one only tradition?
Those great masters of Nalanda, they learn all existing different philosophical views. They never confuse. So it is very, very helpful. You see, you learned different philosophical views, and then it immense help. This philosophy, this point they mentioned. Then another philosophy reject that. Then thinking, what's the reason they use, and what is the reason another philosophy which reject that or criticize that. So it is immense help. So Tibetan Buddhist tradition, Nyingma, Goju, Sakya, Gilu, Chona, you see, all basically follow of Nalanda tradition. Frankly speaking, sometimes you see, for example, the Nyingma tradition, Kunji Longzhimba and Kunji Jingme Lingpa, and later, you see, many great scholars, great practitioners, like Duru Jingme Tenpe Nyingma, all these, they are practitioners of Nyingma tradition, but at the same time, they learn all other traditions, particularly Gelug tradition. So wonderful. Then similarly, among Sakya, among Kagyu, among Kilu, among Chana, you see, who study, who receive teaching from all different traditions. I myself also, to some extent, you see, I received teaching from some Nyingma Lama, Tingku Chenze Rinpoche, and Trishi Rinpoche, so on. And Sajja as well. And I read books, important books of all these different traditions. No danger, confuse. You see, learn these is a different tradition, different textbook, and make comparison. It's immense help. If you see someone, as I always mentioned, you say, whatever Lama say, yes, 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 then there is danger of confusion. So actually, non-sectarian means, you see, respect all different traditions, and also you see, receive teaching from different traditions. And then meantime, you see, you they analyze these different things, common things, is no problem. And some sort of unique thing, then you can you can follow one particular things. So I think that non-sectarian sort of approach is very essential. Very, very unfortunately, in the past, in Tibet also, some sort of conflict in the name of religion, in the name of a different color of head. Silly. You see, these things, I think, the lack of sort of knowledge. And then it's too much sectarian feeling. It causes conflict. So when I sort of look at the Syria and the Arab world, you see, Christian, Islam, problems. In Northern Ireland, Catholic, the Protestant, some problems. And then, and the same Muslim community, Shia, Sunni problems. Recently, in Burma, Buddhists and Islam, or Muslim, this is some problems. When I say, look, you see, these things, really very, very unfortunate, very sad. But at the same time, when I look back in Tibet, small community, but within that is some sort of, some kind of conflict. Is it due to different color of head? Really silly. You see, due to lack of holistic view and lack of sort of the lack of the tradition to study different sort of traditions. So that's why the Shungden group, they just say, oh, Gelug should not touch even Nyingma's text. Such things, I think, very bad. Deliberately create sectarians. Although I myself, you see, worship that spirit, And then eventually I noticed these things. And also since 5th Dalai Lama and the 13th Dalai Lama, very seriously, so they reject this spirit. So then I also then completely stopped the practice of this spirit. So one reason is very much sectarian. So we, as a Buddhist, even Islam, I respect Islam. I respect Christianity, Judaism, and all these major world traditions. You see, it helped. It's helping millions of human beings in the past, over 1,000 years, and at present, millions of people get great inspiration from these traditions. And I know number of Christians who really dedicated serving to others, particularly poor people. In Calcutta, late Mother Teresa, their organization, totally dedicated serving poor people. Wonderful. And also as well, you see some Muslim friend, totally dedicated serving to others. So all these major traditions have same tradition, different philosophy, but you see same message. If people who really follow sort of their teaching sincerely, seriously, then all have same potential. So I respect. And I usually make distinction. Faith and respect, two things. Faith, your own tradition. Respect all traditions. So there is no problem. Yes?
Thank you, His Holiness. Next question, please. Next question, please.
Hello. Hi. I'm from Mongolia. My name is Oyu, and it's my pleasure to ask you a question. Thank you for your teaching. I'm in this tipping point in my life that I have been taught many teaching of Buddhism, and if Buddhism teach everything, then why would I go to PhD or study more or help me? Could you? What is the most effective way?
Oh. As I mentioned earlier, out of 7 billion, over 1 billion non-believer, at each nation, there are different people. And then basically, we human beings, we need some sort of facility for physical comfort as well as facility to bring comfort mental level. So in Buddhism, Buddhist teaching, or Nalanda Master's sort of teaching, nothing mentioned about a computer or this technology. So as a nation, as a human community, this technology is very essential. So you have to study.
Thank you, His Holiness. Next person, please ask you a question.
Yes.
Just one question at one time, please.
За, юуны өмнө энэ хурлыг зохион байгуулсан Далай Ламын институтийн хамт олонд Далай багштай мөн Монголын асуудлыг хариуцсан Дэлүү хутагттай баярж талархснаа бүх монголчуудын өмнөөс илэрхийлье гэж бодож байна. За тэгээд надад болон манай бүх монгол хүмүүст танаас асуухныг асуулт байгаа гэж бодож байна. Манай Монголын ард түмэн таны сургаалыг итгэл бишрэн хүндэтгэн сонсдог. Тэгээд бичлэн ёсчлон биелүүлдэг. Тэгэхээр та дараагийнхаа сургаалыг монгол хүмүүсийн эдэ ундаа зан ариншин тохирсон сургаалаа хизээ хайрлах вэ гэд бид хүлээж хүндэтгэл дээр хүлээж суудаг. Энэ асуултанд хариулт өгнө үү?
Firstly, I always see expressing Buddhist should be 21st century's Buddhist. That means Buddhist faith with fuller knowledge about Buddha Dharma. So among Tibetan, as well as among Chinese or Japanese or Mongolians, or some other country, it's a faith, quite strong, but then knowledge, not sufficient. Poor knowledge, that must improve. Traditionally, now among Tibetan community, traditionally, you see, ordinary people, but lay people, you see, not much pay attention for study. These sort of important texts. Now, since I become a refugee, about 40 years ago, I appealed all the monastery, some monastery traditionally not much sort of carry study. They just carry rituals or these things. So I appeal them should start a study. Then nunnery also, you see, should pay more attention for study, should become equal, like monk, scholar. So non-scholar now should come. Now this year, we are going to sort of what's it, formal sort of kasatimindi, kasurda, kishik, some kind of what's the highest degree to nuns sort of kishi, like that. And also, you see, I always appeal Tibetan, ordinary lay people. They also now should pay more attention for study. So, I want to tell you, in Mongolia also now, basically, irrespective whether monk or lay people, should pay more attention for study. And the knowledge should increase. And any nation, the modernization everywhere, it is also important. But you see, while you carry sort of what's the modernization, more industry, more technology, more science, these things, at the same time, 1,000-year-old your own tradition should not remain ritual or something. No. Through study should be living. Then you see, can combine modern sort of knowledge, modern life, combined with inner value, fuller knowledge about Buddhism, then individual person also become much happier, and the whole nation will be, more happier. So that's, I think, Mongolian, traditionally, you see, we Tibetan and Mongolian, like twin brothers, sisters. So since third Dalai Lama, you see, in Mongolia, many sort of big monastery established, learning center these. Now, I think we should revive, you see, these, the tradition of serious study. That's, I think, should revive. Now, not only monasteries, monks, but also ordinary people. Like that. Okay.
Thank you, His Holiness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next person, question, please.
Ka.
法王你
现在给一个
好，
就注释就可以了。
Sorry, please.
Yes. Yes, some question from
法
there.
王你好，我来自台湾。我想问，就今天手受的五戒，那如果我破除的话，就是破心破戒的话，会有我该怎么办？
굉장히 너무 짜돌래 좋으래, 라수시 도래. Not like vow of monk, bhikshu, or shamanera somewhere. 기술 shamanera, shamanera. So once the sort of main horse 가서 동화 가서래. 그 main vow. If something damage main vow, then no possibility to retake, renew or retake vow. The upasaka, no problem. So if as much as you should keep these vows, if something happen, then okay, you can retake. That what way?
Next question, please. This side, yes.
武藤北斗と言います、日本人です、まず最初に私今大阪に住んでいますが、もともと宮城県の石巻市にいました、東日本大震災で、津波で会社が流され今大阪に来ました、移住した僕らもすごく大きな心の悩みを持っていましたが、法皇様が石巻に行っていただけたのをテレビで見たときに、現地の人だけでなく私たち移住した者も心から癒されました。まずはありがとうございました。ありがとうございます。そして質問一つだけさせていただきます。私はその震災で生きること、死ぬこと、働くこと、いろんなことを真剣に考えるようになりました。世界にたくさんの争いがありますけども、よく見ると私たちの生活の中、会社の中にも争いがあることに気づいて、今自分の中での改革を始めています。その中で迷った時に、私は自分の考えを元にすればいいのか、それともみんなの幸せを元にして考えていけばいいのか、どちらがいいのか迷う時があるので、そのことでアドバイスをいただければと思います。
So recently in Kumamoto, there happened to be a very strong earthquake, and there a lot of destructions happened. And when His Holiness, when you visit there and bless the people after the earthquake, it was very beneficial. And nowadays people have big problems in their life just in one day. Even from the one day's point of view, there are a lot of problems. Then even so, whether is it more beneficial to do work for oneself or for the benefit of the society? So I think it's better to work for the society. So even if you are one person, and if you engage in some social work, and even if you work hard in whatever your capacity to assist other people towards the society, that will be much more benefit. And of course, if you stay by your own self, of course you can survive, you can sustain, but that won't be much effective for the whole society as well. So if there is opportunity, and from one's own side, if there is capacity or the conditions are there to do some social welfare works, then that will be beneficial. And when we say about working for the social cause, doesn't mean that you let go of your own purpose. So of course you have to do your own purpose, your own job for your own living and so on. So, but this is a general, this for general, but due to some own reason and the situation, sometimes everyone may not be able to do some work for social. So this is depending upon individual.
Next question, please. This side, yes.
こんにちは。早速質問いたします。ちょっと細かい質問になるかもしれませんが、仏性と発心について伺います。発心には、原初からの仏性が権限するという部分と、それから、資料釈重や浄化などによって、仏心や、仏の体や知恵を得るというこの2つの側面があると、聞いています。でこの2つについて、説明いただけたらありがたいんですが、特に原初からの仏性にですね、そういった仏心や知恵が初めから備わっているものなのか、あるいは浄化や修行などによってそれが完了したならば、そういった仏心や知恵というのが備わるものなのか、この点をお伺いしたいと思います。
Lungdola confuse your question. So then me, no question. Your question should ask more simple way.
もう少し簡単な
はい、では、
ご質問お願いします。
ちょっと簡単にするとですね、発心には原初からの仏性が現れるという部分と、それから資料釈重などによって修行によって、開発されて出てくる発心と、この2つがあるというふうに聞いています。その2つについて、簡単に説明していただけたらと思いますが。もう一回。
難しいか。
ではね、分かりました。こうしましょう。如来像仏性には開発されて備わる仏心や知恵というものが最初から備わっているのか、それとも、修行などによって、修行が完了したならばその時に備わるものなのか、どちらなのかと。はい、
ありがとうございます。
So his question was about the Buddha nature, whether it was always there from the beginningless time,
even insect, they also have
or does it arise by a cause?
So long consciousness of mind there, Buddha nature there.
Thank you, His Holiness. ありがとうございました。Next question from the lower side. Yes, please.
尊敬的法王，我来自香港。我有个问题，就是您在第一天的时候呢，讲到
老着。
OK，尊敬的法王，我来自香港。您第一天的时候呢，有讲到空性和光明。那我想请问，这个光明和空性两者有什么差别？在二转法轮和三转法轮的时候呢，它又怎么去体现出这个光明？
Your Holiness, you spoke about emptiness and also the clear light meditation. And also you spoke about the clear light pertaining to the object and the mental. So in terms of the clear light, actually we usually have the two reference for the from the object side and from the mental. And as I said yesterday, the second turning of the Dharma presents about the clear light pertaining to the object, and the third turning of the will of Dharma actually presents about the clear light from the perspective of the mind. So this is the very subtle, and the detail is actually coming from the highest Yoga Tantra teaching only. So for the clear light, we can classify them into the objective side and also from the mental side. And therefore, the mind realizing selflessness can be also, we can draw many classification. So in the highest Yoga Tantra, I'm not sure whether understanding of the gross selflessness, whether will it be also counted as a subtle mind or not. And the clear light pertaining to the mental is actually thinking from the perspective of the very subtle mind itself. So the objective side is actually more focused toward the external phenomena. And it is the nature of all the phenomena, which is the emptiness, and whether the things are there or not, emptiness will be always there. So as soon as the object come into being, so that nature of that object come into existence. So merely by the existence of the emptiness or the nature of the phenomenon, it doesn't give rise to any understanding to a person unless we study it and we practice it. So therefore, we have to make effort to understand what is the what is real emptiness. And when it comes to the clear light pertaining to the mental level, this is very clearly coming from the great completion stage from Nyingma tradition, where it says that even all the mind has perverted by a certain level of the subtlety, the very subtle mind. And there's also one classification that the clear light can be classified as the object to be conceived and the mind that conceives that object. So both can be also given the term subtle. So the agent of all the existence of the phenomena that when we analyze further, so we cannot find anything else in the external except for the subtle mind within us, which is the agent, and through it we have accumulated different merits, and by that we enjoy the different rebirths and so on. So generally the mind on one side, and then on a secondary level we classify them into the coarse or the very subtle, the subtle mind. And there are also instances where it arises and it do not arises. So these things need to be studied very thoroughly. And basically, as the presentation coming from the great completion from Nyingma tradition, they have they try to single out a distinction between what is the mind and what is the cognitive. So they have this special means for that. And I think these are really wonderful for one's understanding. So generally, by classification of the coarse and the subtle mind, and understanding the subtle mind, and also the 4 empty and 80 conceptual elaborations, and the different classifications within those empties, these are very clearly in the Nagarjuna's text on the 5 stages. And this is very helpful. The natural conceptual elaboration is being first dissolved. Then after that, how does the external symptoms and the internal symptoms arise? And we have to also align to a comparative studies with this to the Mahamudra practice. But actually, the Mahamudra practice and the great completion practice both are more focused towards the stabilizing meditation. So when it comes to the objective side, it's more about the stabilizing meditation. But when it comes to the mental level of the subtle mind, it is more towards the analytical meditation. And once one enjoyed the bliss of the union of the emptiness and the bliss, then we are only in the form of the the stabilizing meditation. We have a reference coming from Abhidhammakosha that the mind belonging to the highest concentration level of the form realms, since it is very subtle, so the arahats, when they attain the nirvana path, they take the help of a lower mind which is a bit closer to it in order to eliminate the afflicted emotions. Because since that particular mind is very subtle, so they cannot focus to that mind. So this is coming from Abhidhammakosha. But when it comes to the highest yoga tantra, and when we attain the great bliss, so as the mind becomes subtler, so clarity of that mind also improves. And as the bliss enjoyment and the bliss grew, at the same time the subtlety of the mind improves, and with the clarity of the mind also gets better and better. And at that meditative occupies, if you do analytical meditation, it will harm the dissolution of the mind. So, as the mind itself is getting more clearer and clearer in terms of the understanding of the object, so therefore there is no extra purpose of doing an analytical meditation. So analytical meditation at that time will be a hindrance for attainment of the subtlest of the mind. So therefore, this is common to all the great completion and the Mahamudra. So these things we have to know the text, and we have to put it into order. Even in Gelug text, there are some very gross explanations, and I've also found some other texts which are not very well written. So therefore, we have to read more texts. Then once we get accustomed, then when someone says this is a very secret and a sacred text, then as you read, then you can understand immediately whether that is really sacred or great. And you can even find a contradictory that this may not go along well with some other texts.
Thank you, His Holiness.